Good morning, everybody. Good morning and welcome to Talking Cafe Live, Thursday the 5th of November. You are back in Sedgemoor this morning with myself. My name is Lauren Giddens. I am the team lead for Sedgemoor Village Agents. And it's been a while since I have been on a Talking Cafe Live. It feels like it's been a while anyway. How is everybody this morning? We will just wait until people are joining and then I will get started. I wanted to take this opportunity, the first sort of 5-10 minutes of the Talking Cafe Live this morning, really just to give you guys watching and anybody on a replay an open forum to come and say how you are. We're living in strange times again. We obviously the English government has announced that we are, as of today, going back into a lockdown situation. So we know that COVID-19 cases have rapidly risen among the whole of across the UK and in other countries. And so they have announced that in order to act now to control the spread of the virus, we are being asked to stay at home again. We are being asked to stay at home except for specific purposes, avoid meeting people that we do not live with, again, except for specific purposes, and close certain businesses and venues. So I'm sure this has caused a lot of stress, a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety for people, business owners that have had to close, people that are isolating at home on their own, anybody that might be shielding for medical reasons. I really wanted to just give you this opportunity to come and tell us if you're struggling with us. It's not easy, and I'm sure a lot of people are feeling quite worried about what these new restrictions mean. I've had lots of feedback from people that perhaps the guidance hasn't been as clear this time round. I have just gone on to the gov.uk website, and there are pretty cohesive instructions on there about what we can and can't do. So I will come back later on after the stream has finished and post that website into the comments section so that you can have a read for yourself. The slogan is still very much stay at home, hands, face, space, all that sort of stuff. But if you are feeling really confused, really anxious, really worried about what to expect in the next 4 weeks, then please do know that you can give us a ring at any time. Our telephone number is rolling down the bottom of the screen there. Our agents man the telephone lines, so there are 6 ready agents ready to answer that phone today and talk you through any of those concerns and worries. We're happy to talk to you at any time. We're open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Give us a ring. Let us talk you through some of those concerns and see what we can do to support you. If it's food, medication, whatever it is that you're worried about, please do reach out and give us a ring. Let us support you. So that's that. It's very quiet this morning, but if anybody is watching this on replay or catches up a bit later and wants to say hello in the comments, please do. I'll hang around on Facebook for the rest of the day to get back to any comments that might pop up. And let's chat. The most important thing that you can do in the next 4 weeks is reach out if you're struggling. Let us know what it is that you need, and we will do our absolute best to help you with that. So please just reach out. Look after yourself, but also look after your neighbours. Look after those that you know might be vulnerable in your communities. We can absolutely get through the next 4 weeks. We did 3 months. We can do the next 4 weeks, but the only way we're going to do that is together. So please reach out. Please let us know if you're struggling or if someone you love is struggling, and we will do our absolute best to help. So we will leave that there. And we will introduce today's guest, who is going to come and talk to us about what they do in the community. So I'm going to add Marie into the stream this morning. Good morning, Marie.
Good morning, Lauren.
How are you today? Okay?
I'm okay, yes. How are you?
Good, yeah, I'm good, thank you. It's been a busy week so far, but always nice to know that we're helping.
Yep.
So Marie, if you could just get started by telling us who you are, what you do, and how you help the community, that would be fantastic.
Okay, so my name, as you can see on the bottom there, is Marie Kivlican. And what I do in the community is I do something called Enable. Enable works around a central 6-week program to help people develop skills to become more involved in their own lives, and to help them to become empowered and understand that and how that works. But it isn't just a 6-week program, although that's the core of it. We look at mentoring people and supporting people and being very tailored, helping people to make a journey that is individual and specific to them and their situation.
Sounds fantastic. Where did, Marie, if you don't mind me asking, where did the course start? Where did Enable start? What gave you the idea?
Enable really was born out of two things: my own experience, and personal experience, and then my professional experience. And my own experience was that 7 years ago, I had a bit of a breakdown. Well, I had more than a bit of a breakdown. I really struggled, and the help that was out there was not that great, to be honest. I found that either people wanted to have pity on me and do everything for me, or they wanted to leave me alone because they didn't understand. And what there wasn't was a forum for me to start off by being very honest about where I was, and then to receive any encouragement to move forward. And almost the day that came into my life and somebody said, "You can do," I went from being, and I know it's not the same from everybody, but I went from feeling that I could do something to achieving. I actually put on a big event in Wales, and I got MPs involved and all kinds of stuff. And I went from not leaving the house to that in about a 3-month period.
Amazing.
And I then went on to work with the same organization that gave me that help. And I discovered that by engaging people, understanding people, and saying to people, do you know what's inside you? What's your goal? What's your dream? But what are your barriers? Let's be really honest about what your barriers are, because unless we name them, we don't understand them. And I wanted to put something in place that gave people both of those things. And then I was faced with redundancy. So I'm like, do you know what? Let's do this. So we've been running on a kind of a voluntary basis for about a year, doing small courses in different places. But I'm very excited that we've now just become registered as a CIC. We've got our policies in place and we are ready to run.
Fantastic. So can you tell us a little bit about what this 6-week course would look like for someone who signed up and wanted to work with you?
Yep. So somebody who signs up, I would meet with them before the course, because one of the things that's really difficult for people is to walk into a room full of strangers. So as soon as you either refer yourself or somebody refers you, I'll make contact with you and arrange to meet for coffee. 2 reasons for that. 1, I need to meet you, and 2, coffee's always a good thing.
Always good. Yeah.
So that's at the core of it. And we'll then talk about what somebody would want, somebody would need, what somebody would expect, so that I know how I can tailor that course to the group that I've got. We run 2 hours usually once a week. It gives people time to consolidate. And there's 6 sessions. So the first one is looking at change versus development. If I come to you and I say, Lauren, you've got to change, I'm instantly devaluing you. If I say to you, Lauren, what's inside of you? How can we develop that? And what changes do you need to make? We're instantly engaging somebody in the process. And we look at motivation levels and all of that kind of stuff. And at the end of that session, I ask people to commit to the next 5 weeks. I do understand that there will be times where there's genuine emergencies and people can't come, but it's really important for a group dynamic, if somebody's really got that buy-in at the beginning, that we look at those commitment levels. And then we look at who am I? What's my identity? How do I see myself? How do other people see me? How do those interactions work? And that's the next session. And then we take a really honest look at where we are in our lives. There is no point trying to move you know, if I phone you up and say I'm lost, but I'm in Taunton, but I'm actually in Bridgewater, how are we going to get directions?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really important to put a pin in the map and understand where we are.
Yeah.
So that's kind of 3 weeks to look at what our state is now. And then we spend the next 3 weeks, looking at goals, where we want to go. The next one is what needs to change. What are the barriers? What are my real barriers? And can I overcome those, or do I need to find another way? And then in the final session, we look at the resources, people that we might have around us, what kind of financial resources we've got, how we can engage the people and the things around us to make life work for us.
Yeah.
And then
that sounds like a valuable 6 weeks for anybody, let alone somebody that might be a little bit lost in life, but for anybody to evaluate where they are and what they've got around them.
I've actually just taken, I'm a member of a church in the town, and we've just taken the church through it.
Okay.
As a small group of people, just because it has value for everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
Nobody's going to be disadvantaged by doing it.
Absolutely not. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But we're then looking at putting in mentors really from around the town that can work with people afterwards, because it's fine at the moment. I've got a small group of people that I work with and walk with, and you know, they know that they've got my phone number, but we're bringing in more mentors all the time so that they can work one-on-one.
Yes.
Otherwise, you know, 6 weeks is fine, but then we've got people are designed to be connected to one another.
Yes.
And you know, some people may not have learned skills along the way to be able to deal with life. Some people may have mental health issues, and there's no good me saying, well, here's a toolkit, go and use it. I might need to demonstrate how to use a screwdriver on that particular screw.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think, Marie, you were due to start a course quite soon, weren't you? Is that changing, going ahead? What's happened with the lockdown?
No, I've still got one place. With the lockdown, because it is a support group that doesn't really lend itself to being online, and because it supports people with specific needs, we are allowed to run.
Great.
In a COVID setting. Now, because of this, what I'm doing is I've reduced the amount of spaces available, and I've brought in the people that I'm currently mentoring, because I can't mentor those. So we're going to have 3 and 3 people who have previously done the course but will benefit from doing it again. 3 new people. Now I've got one space.
Okay.
Starting next Tuesday at 1:30 at Bridgewater Community Church. The rider that I'm putting on it is that I think, because I've had to limit the spaces, it needs to be somebody who is on their own. Who has no other contact, and who specifically needs this support one-to-one. But that space is available.
Great. And do you run these courses sort of back to back? Once the next 6 weeks is finished, will you start another one, or wait till the new year?
We'll probably wait till the new year, because this is going to take us into the middle of December, and the break over Christmas is not particularly helpful. So I usually try, it works best if I run one every half term. And then if there's people with childcare issues or anything like that, I really try to work alongside what people need.
Yeah. So perhaps if I come back a bit later, Maria, and I pop your details in the comments, if people can't commit to this time because of the limited availability and the restrictions, perhaps get in touch with you next year, and they might be able to consider coming on the course next year.
But I'm happy to do something, Zoom works. And if there are people there who want to just connect, then I'm more than happy to put something in place, But but it's not going to work for actually running the support, and it doesn't work. But I'm happy to connect via Zoom. However,
fantastic.
One thing I would say is, having checked, Lauren, the first time you put this up, it had my website address correct. It's got somebody else's website today.
Oh, okay. I will go and change it after this is finished and make sure we've got the right details up for you.
Brilliant.
Not a problem at all. That was something I was going to ask Marie, is if you had any advice, any tips about staying connected during the next 4 weeks. You've mentioned that perhaps a Zoom might be appropriate if there's enough people interested that you'd be willing to set up. But are there other ways that you kind of learned through the last lockdown that people could stay connected?
Yeah, I think the advantage that we've had this time is it hasn't taken us by surprise.
Yes.
We're a little bit more prepared now. I've spent a lot of time, been probably like yourself over the last 3 days, really busy, making sure that I connect with the people I am connected with, so that that bubble is there. We know what we need and what the obstacles might be. Reach out, and do something. I would say do something visually. If you've got the ability to make a video call, do that. Have somebody for coffee. Sit and I've got my cup of tea here. There is no reason why I can't have a WhatsApp call with my friend and a cup of coffee. Try and make it relatively normal. Don't wait till something becomes quite big. Reach out in the small times. I'm here for you. Lauren's here for you. There's a whole bunch of organizations that are here for you. Please don't ever think that you're stupid.
Not at all. And it really doesn't matter who you reach out to first, does it? You will always end up in the right service place that for you, as long as you reach out to someone and say, this is what I need. We can help direct people into the right places for them. It's just that first initial, doesn't matter who you tell. If you're struggling, you have to tell someone.
You've got to tell somebody. Absolutely. And believe me, I know from personal experience, had I have reached out at the very beginning, I would not be where I ended up. And you can sometimes feel really silly, but you're not. And there's a whole bunch of people out there that get it.
Absolutely. And I think there's a tendency from conversations I've had with this being a global situation. There's lots of people saying, well, I'm not feeling great, but someone's probably feeling less than me. Somebody probably deserves that food more than I do, or someone's more important than me. But that's so not true. And there is enough support and enough resources for everybody that is struggling. And it's really something that I tell everybody, that they're just as worthy as the next person, whether that's worthy of food or emotional support or practical support, whatever it might be. Everybody is just as worthy as the next person.
And I think it's really important that we validate that for people, that people who are engaging with us from wherever, whatever your issue is, and that goes for me, for Lauren, we're all going to be struggling with something in this circumstance.
Absolutely.
Personally, you lock me inside and I become like a caged animal. I really struggle with it. Struggle with it. And that's valid.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely valid. And there is nobody more worthy of food than you. Whoever you are out there watching this, there's nobody more worthy of food or emotional support, or just, do you know what? I'm really lonely. I want to talk to somebody about my dog. Fine, phone me.
Absolutely. Quite agree. So going back to the course, Marie, the Enable 6-week course, what's your hope for people that come out the other side of this? What sort of person would come into this, and how would you hope they go out of it? Does that make sense?
Yep, it does. So we work a lot with people who, the word that I use, people who are stuck. And I often describe it as, the road sign for a roundabout. It's got 3 arrows that go round the roundabout. And there's a lot of people that are putting a lot of energy into going round that roundabout. It takes everything just to stay where you are. And what I look at doing is taking those 3 arrows and moving them in a straight line. And it's hard to describe that without a visual. I always do it, or I have run around tables to describe it before, but that's where we start from. Yes. And what I hear a lot is, I can't do that because I can't do that. I'm frightened. The anxiety that a lot of people face is huge.
Yeah.
So we look at taking that down into really small bits. What is it that makes you anxious? I had a guy on the last course, and he described a family event that he was going to and how it was making him feel really anxious. So we looked at, and I absolutely got it, but then we looked at the really positive things, like he was going to a beautiful area of the country. Yeah. And given that it was the rule of 6, if you get asked out on a day out in the rule of 6 and somebody thinks you're really special,
yeah,
because they could have had somebody else to make their 6
absolutely
up, and we looked at how much he valued the members of his family he was going with. And I had a message from him afterwards, and he said, I did struggle, but I realized why, and actually I had quite a nice day out.
Oh.
And I hope that the next time that man goes out, he will use those things and he'll be able to do that, because he can find the positives. I have another lady who's much more able to start making empowered decisions about her own life. She's able to reach out for help, whereas before she would go spinning around in that circle. And I think what we find, Lauren, I'm sure you do, is that a lot of people that we come across and we work with, we can help in a crisis situation, but most of the people that are reaching out for help wants to be somehow involved in making those decisions for themselves, and they don't always know how to. So it's about putting skills in place. It's not about making people independent, because we're not designed to be independent people, but it's about connecting into community and making community decisions.
Yes.
It's not saying that you won't need to reach out for help at the end of this, but it's about being empowered, having empowered help.
Definitely.
So I think that's where
really interesting. Just going back to what you were saying about the gentleman and sort of supporting him to change his thinking around a situation. That's something I've been doing for the last 3 days with a lot of conversations I've had, is just having people to concentrate on the positives of this next lockdown. What were the silver linings from last time, and what can we take through to this time? Just the fact that it's quite wet and cold outside a lot of the time at the moment, you can really concentrate on staying inside and being cozy and doing all those autumnal things that are nice about this time of year. Just really trying to get people to change their thinking, so that this isn't something to fear, be scared of, to resent, to feel very negative about, and just concentrate on what they can do with the next 4 weeks to make it a positive experience. I think, like you said, we're much more prepared. We know what to expect and we know how to handle it. And for me personally, it feels a lot less scary than it did the first time around.
But equally, like you said earlier, we're there to listen to your fears as well. The fears you've got are valid. But let's look at overcoming those without saying your fears. Let's look on the positives. There's a tendency sometimes to beat people up. I'm not saying that you're doing that at all, but there's a tendency to say, well, that's rubbish. I hear your fears. But let's look at the balance, and that's what we did with this guy. Here's the fears, here's what might happen, but look, here's something to balance it out with. Now, do you feel more able to cope?
Definitely. And they're conversations that we can have with people over the phone. So if somebody is struggling and they want to reach out and, like you say, have a video call, have a catch up, have a coffee over, WhatsApp call, we can kind of talk to people about their fears and see if there's something that we can do to support them with those fears.
Absolutely.
There are a few people watching. If there's any questions or anything that you want Marie to answer while she's here with us this morning, please do pop them in the comments section. Otherwise, if you're watching this on replay later, just send us a message and I'll make sure that Marie gets your comments. But is there anything else, Marie, that you wanted? Is there anything else written on your paper that you wanted?
No, only probably a couple of the questions that I get asked quite a lot. How do I refer somebody? Or how do I refer myself? Well, there will be a link to the right website. All my contact details are on there. Also, Enable Somerset is on Facebook, so you can leave me a message there anytime. I'll get back to you. If it's one of your agents or another agency, if you gain permission from the person that you're working with, I will contact them. As long as I know, I'm sure you tick all the data protection boxes. But yeah, I'll contact you and make that introduction. So that's how you would refer somebody or refer yourself. Just get in touch with me. And in terms of the other question that I get asked quite a lot is the funding one. How are you funded? We are going through the process of applying for grant funding from various sources. But there is also the opportunity for organisations to buy in a course, if there's an organisation that wanted to do that. There's a huge advantage to people doing that for their own, if they've got a client group that they would like to do that, or you can sponsor an individual or a group. So that's where the funding comes from.
Great. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Marie, for being with us this morning. My internet has gone slightly glitchy towards the end there. I think the demand of more people being at home might start to have an impact. But hopefully everybody's got all of the information. But as I mentioned, if you do come across any questions that you wish you'd asked during the feed, please do pop them in the comments. I'll come back and answer them later today. And I'll also make sure that you've got all of Marie's correct contact information so that you can contact her directly.
Brilliant.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Marie, for being with us this morning. It's lovely to talk to you.
Thanks,
and see you through a screen. And we'll catch up with you soon.
Excellent. Thank you. You have a great day. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Lovely. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us this morning and for having Marie to come and talk to us about the Enable course that runs in Bridgwater. Please do let Marie know if you are interested or you would like to talk through perhaps that option of doing some Zoom calls with Marie to keep connected. Just before I go, just a very quick reminder that the Village Agents are working hard to support our communities. We have been here before in a lockdown. We are here again. We know what to do. We're prepared. All of our systems are in place. We are ready to support you. So please do give us a ring. Our telephone number's running along the bottom there. We have agents ready to answer the phone and talk you through whatever it is that's bothering you at the moment and make sure that we get some solutions in place for you. We have access to food. We have access to volunteers. If you're worried about how you're going to get your medication or your food, your shopping, stay connected, you're worried about your mental health, whatever it might be, the list is endless. Please do just give us a ring. Start there. Let's have a chat and see what we can do for you. If there are any organisations or places out there that want any of our leaflets to give out to people that you might be coming across who are struggling, then let us know in the comments. Just reach out, whatever the query might be, then do let us know. It has been lovely to be back with you this morning. It is Thursday. I will be back the next couple of weeks, but I have a couple of my agents hosting the Talking Cafes. So I will see you very shortly next week. Take care, everybody. Hope to speak to you soon. Bye-bye.